So let's talk about first the sponsor message, which is us becoming your greatest possible self. We're sponsoring this with the help of our guests and contributions from people who value what we're doing and this movement that we are cultivating and growing and expanding. For you out there who's listening, you want to make a bigger impact in the world, and I want to support you in doing that. If it's coming on the show as a guest and getting your message out to the audience, I'd love to explore that. If it's launching your own podcast and making an impact in the world like that, would love to support you in that. I love helping our clients get their purpose, their messaging, who they're going to be serving, and launching their podcast in 90 days or less. It's a blast. I love doing it. So if either and any of those sounds like a blast to you, like sounds valuable, sounds fun, sounds like you'd want to explore, so you feel a pulling, a yearning to grow, to be more, do more, have more, to go deeper into yourself, into your soul, and your purpose, I'm here to facilitate that. Send me an email, chris@beyourgps.com. Find me on facebook.com/th3burns or Instagram @IamMillionaireChris. Looking forward to hearing from you. Next up is the iTunes review of the week. This week, let's see who it's by. It's by Sports123789. Sports says, awesome show and host. Love Chris's infectiously positive attitude, inspirational and uplifting. Thanks so much, Sports. I appreciate you. If you want to give us a review, if you want to stay subscribed and tuned into the show, go to beergps.com/iTunes or search for iTunes, search for Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes store, and you'll be able to subscribe there. Looking forward to continuing the journey with you, and I think that subscribing, for me, that's where I was able to really get all of my podcasting inspiration, motivation, personal growth needs met years ago when I was just getting into the industry, into the podcasting game. I started off with podcasts, just listening, being totally in awe about what people were sharing on them. Lewis Howes, John Lee Dumas, Entrepreneur on Fire. Like I was just so moved by these people and what they were up to. So definitely subscribe so you can get all the latest updates. We release an episode just about every day, so you'll always be getting more encouragement and empowerment to help you step into your GPS. In this conversation, we're going to be diving into what my 13, 18, and 21-year-old self needed to hear about purpose. And specifically, we're going to start with this conversation of, does your why make you cry? Oh my goodness gracious. I think that this is a personal development like a euphemism, something that's talked about a lot. The aspect of your purpose, your mission, your why. If you've gotten to the depth of recognizing how beautiful it is, how magical it is, how powerful it is, to where you're able to cry, whether you're a woman or a man, that is powerful. That is magical. It's beautiful. And I really acknowledge you. I think I've only cried a handful of times in my life sharing about my why and why I do what I do. And I'm on that quest and that journey. So by no means am I an expert who has it all figured out in terms of being connected to my purpose and my vision and all these kinds of things. It's always evolving. I'm pretty dang clear on it. It's right now, it's just like, I know where I want to go and I'm just showing up every day to fulfill on that. And I'm not as concerned about how it looks like on a day-to-day basis. I am crystal clear on the long term, the general specifics, types of feelings that I want, the areas, the industries, the types of technologies that I want to get involved with. I'm pretty clear on what that is. There's more room for depth in terms of the impact that it'll have on people, and like moving myself to tears thinking about that, because I've been on my entrepreneurial journey for 7 years, 7 years this November. And I'm grateful because I've discovered a lot, I've learned a lot, and I still have a lot of room to grow. I think we all do. We're always on that journey. And for me, in particular, the drive to show up. I'm so grateful for my current level of drive. I want my current level of drive. I'm grateful for what I have. I appreciate what I have. It's always growing. It's always expanding. And I'm constantly seeking a deeper level of hunger for what it is that I'm going for my vision, for my life. Because I know that there's there's always faster ways, there's always better ways, there's always more efficient, there's always more holistic, there's always more impactful. And so I really am also on this journey of accepting and appreciating how connected I am with my purpose as it is right now. Like today, here and now, I accept my level of clarity, my level of distinctions, my level of articulation of my purpose. And so I really want to just start off this conversation inviting you to accept where you're at, accept your current level of performance, your current level of clarity, your current level of living your purpose, your current level of not living your purpose, your current level of lacking clarity, your current level of scarcity and struggle and strife. It's like, just accept that temporarily, like so that you can love yourself and not judge yourself and not make yourself wrong for being where you're at, because where you're at on the journey is perfect. And the reason why you're at where you're at and not where you want to be yet is because you still have gifts to gain, you still have lessons to learn, you still have life to experience to equip you, so that when you get to the places that you really are striving to get to, you will be more effective, you'll be more ready and competent at handling that level of responsibility. That's my take on does your why make you cry? And we can dive into more of that in a bit. But for me, like, I just want to share my level of articulation of why right now, and it's perfect as it is. Of course, there's room for more clarity. And of course, I've also grown a lot in being able to articulate it. So for me, it's really knowing that every person that I come across, every single person that I meet, everyone who comes in contact with me, my energy, my essence, my spirit, my soul, they are empowered. Right? I'm just so committed to sharing empowerment with people through whatever vehicle that is, whether it's one-on-one coaching, whether it's courses, programs, live events, my podcast, my show, whether it is in the future developing products and beautiful and powerful accessories and power-ups that shift people's energy, and it's like a power-up in a video game. I'm going to be getting into that. It's going to be super cool. Whether it's augmented reality, combining gaming and personal development and personal growth, and making this more game-like, this life more game-like and fun, and rewarding and celebrating people for good deeds and positive steps forward. Like all of that, I'm out to empower people. Like empowerment is one of my freaking biggest values, right? My 3 core values are joy, love, and growth, right? So empowerment is in growth for sure, but in a very simple way, straightforward: joy, love, and growth. Those are my 3 core values. So my purpose is to empower each and every person I meet, so they are embraced. In more joy, love, and transcendence, joy, love, and growth. And ultimately, I really I'm excited to empower people to discover the God within, to discover the source within, to discover the power center, where this all comes from, this whole experience, this life, this soul, to get connected to our souls and live that and serve the world and make it a better place and be entrepreneurial and innovate and evolve and contribute in such big, massive ways, solve global challenges and dilemmas that are currently going on and will be created in the future. So it's really to empower each and every person I meet, so they experience that God within, that source within, embracing them ultimately in even more joy, love, and transcendence and growth. That is my purpose. Like every day I wake up to that. And I created that. Shout out to Tim Long, who I had on the 12-hour marathon, created that with him in Landmark. I want to say like two years ago, around approximately two or three, and probably two-ish, 2 or 3. And it was powerful. Right? So super powerful. And since then I memorized it, I integrated it into my life, and like kind of just know that that's my guiding compass, the best way I found to articulate it up until this point, which is super freaking rad. So that's my purpose. And it took a lot of work up until that point. Before that, I'd done, let's say, 4 years of personal development and growth. And I'm a curious guy, number one, I got some advantages. I got some really powerful skills and gifts that help me. And then we're going to dive into this conversation. But number one is I'm super curious. I'm a powerful freaking learner. I love being self-directed learner. I love getting coached. I love when people share their wisdom with me. I love absorbing and assimilating, integrating information. I'm phenomenal at it. And I love learning, and I also love, there was something else I wanted to share. So I was talking about purpose. I was going somewhere with that. Anyways, so purpose is super important for me because I've gotten a certain level of clarity up to this point, and it will continue to evolve. So I just want to invite you, wherever you're at, is to love where you're at, be appreciative of the level of knowledge that you have, and know that it's going to take continued growth. And it's all perfect. Okay. So I want to share about the wisdom and the advice and the guidance I wish I knew at these various ages in my life. And I think it's different at each age because I was at a different phase. Okay. So let's start with 13. And why am I doing this? Because number one, it actually heals me. So if you are able to share the wisdom and the guidance that you would give to the 7-year-old version of yourself, you heal yourself. You repair the connections and subconscious wounds in your mind to some level so that they don't have as much of a charge on you anymore. So what wisdom and guidance would I give to my 13-year-old self? Well, back then I was obsessed with video games. Like that was all I wanted to do ever. You know, like that was my thing. And yeah, I would go on vacations. Yeah, I would ride dirt bikes. Yeah, I would play sports. Yeah, I would go hang out with my friends. That's cool. But my obsession, the dominant obsession in my life was to play video games, was to get more video games, was to sit in front of a computer and grow my character, level up, get more equipment, you know, really just master and experience, like really play full in and full out. I don't know why do people say full out? All it's like all in. Full out. It's like empty. Go empty because you're just like leaving it all on the field. You left it all out there, all your effort, all your intensity, everything out on the field, out on the court, out in the ring. And then once you get back to the locker room, you're like empty and you feel good because you gave it your all. Okay. So these words and these phrases are so interesting. So at 13, obsessed with video games, and I was really afraid that I didn't belong at that point. You know, I was afraid I didn't belong. I was afraid that nobody got me, like I was misunderstood, and that really like I wouldn't be able to continue doing what I love. Like I loved video games, and every time I got pulled away from that, every time I had to go outside and play, every time I had to go do sports or whatever it might be, it was like, man, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be playing video games. Like that was my life. And at that time, what I really needed to hear about purpose, right? In this conversation about purpose, it's like, does a 13-year-old even have any concept of purpose? Well, I think that they do. And I think that a 13-year-old's purpose is to really, I would say, Chris, have fun, enjoy, play. Don't just really trust your desires, trust your urges, trust your soul and your center and your source to lead you. And don't make it wrong. Don't invalidate it. And be willing to try new things, to do new things. It's so good for you. It's so exciting, so exhilarating. It's so fun. It's such a great game to play, to do new things, to try new things. There's so much in the world out there waiting for you. There's so many opportunities to level up. There's so many power-ups out there just like ready for you to go get them so you can awaken your power and show up even more amazingly in life, in relationships, in video games, resourceful, tenacious, strategic, brilliant, all of it. You want to succeed more in video games, you want to succeed more in life, you want things to be easier, more fun, more full of exhilaration and adrenaline and rush and excitement. You want more adventure? Just have fun. Choose adventure in each moment. Choose that way of being. How you see the world shapes everything, 13-year-old Chris. How you see the world shapes everything. And you might not fully understand what that means, but like how you're thinking, how you're seeing things, it's really shaping your reality. So if you feel negative emotions, if you feel something negative and you stay in that energy, it's going to really impact you. It's going to really stick around longer and hurt and not feel good. And it's going to, if you continue to meditate on that and think about that and go over it, play that tape over and over again in your head, it's going to create some long-term consequences that I don't think you want. 13-year-old Chris, you want things to be fun, exciting, you want them to be easy as possible, you want to get your power-ups, you want to win, right? Okay. So really choose your thoughts wisely. The biggest thing I can recommend is being grateful. Just start with appreciation, man. I know it sounds silly. It sounds like what you do in church. It sounds like what adults tell you to do because you're supposed to do it, but there's actually not any value in it. And 13-year-old Chris, I want you to know that there's such power in gratitude. And if you want to 10x your experience in these video games, your experience in relationships and in life and friendships and each moment, you want to get the most out of every moment, and vacations and time with your family and delicious food, supercharge it with appreciation. When you level up your appreciation, your gratitude muscle, like everything transforms for you. It's so freaking powerful. So just know that showing up every day, going to school, juggling sports and homework and meeting people and school dynamics and all of it, like, it's exactly where you're supposed to be. You are living your purpose. And how exciting is it to know that you're like on autopilot on your purpose? You're already succeeding. You're already successful. You're already more than enough as you are. And you just get to keep growing and building upon that. So I just want you to know, 13-year-old Chris, I love you. You are worthy exactly as you are. I love your curiosity. Keep being curious. Keep asking questions. Keep seeking answers and knowledge and putting incredibly random things together in your head. And just, if you have frustration, if you have difficulties, just share about it, write about it, journal about it, get it out of your head and put it onto paper so you don't have to keep it there. And you can really just start to look at what's coming up for you and really be in that self-awareness. It's so powerful. And 13-year-old Chris, man, don't worry about a thing. Everything's going to be all right. You're going to get hurt. You're going to have your heart broken. You're going to fall. You're going to screw up. You're going to do it wrong. And it's all perfect. It's all A-okay. Can you trust that it's going to be A-okay? Yes. Yeah. You got this. And so just set out every day to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. In your video games, right? You want to level up. You want to go from level 1 to level 2. You want to go from level 10 to level 11, right? You want to get better equipment, better stats, better strength, better armor, better power-ups. Same thing. You want to do that, right? Yes? Okay, so doesn't it make sense that you'd want to do that everywhere in life? Not just video games, because like a character is a holistic character in a video game. And like you can say, hey, you're going to have all the attack points you want, but if you have terrible hit points and terrible skill points and terrible defense and terrible all this other stuff, then you're going to be a great attacker, one-shot attacker. But if you get attacked, what happens? You get taken down. You die. You have to start all over, and you're just going to keep running into these difficult situations that you can't survive. So what happens? How can you really surpass that? Well, it's to be better rounded, to be able to handle more situations, be more versatile, still know what your gifts are, still know what you love to do. If you like putting your skill points in attack, if you love putting your skill points in strategy or agility or intellect and casting spells from far away, freaking do that. Do what you love and make sure that you are well balanced. So trust that when you put a skill point into luck, even though you feel like luck has freaking nothing to do with your actual, greatness of your character, you still do it to create a balanced character and, to round things out. Same thing with life. If school isn't your favorite thing, that's okay. But show up and do your best in school and put the points and the time and the effort that you need that you get to be able to succeed in that area. Okay. So really make sure you have that holistically rounded character. You, Chris Burns, are a character in this lifetime. You're playing the game. You're playing the game of life to win, and you are showing up to the best of your ability every day. Grow a little bit more, be a little bit better, even more kind, even more generous, even more loving, even more appreciative, even more determined, even more focused, even more resourceful. Find out how. If you want something, figure out a way how. There's nothing too big for you. You are infinitely powerful. So, 13-year-old Chris, I love you. You have received all this wisdom. You have integrated it. You're acting on it now. And your life is so much better off because of this conversation. I love you. Keep stepping into your greatness, buddy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I fast forward to my 18-year-old self, which would be completely different based on that conversation I had with my 13-year-old self. And speaking to my teen-year-old self, as if nothing had changed based on that 13-year-old conversation, 18-year-old self, Chris, bro, what is up? What is up, man? You got a life you're living, man. You're like rocking it, dude. Got accepted in Cal Poly Pomona. You had some hiccups, had some challenges, juggles. You love partying. You love hanging out with your friends. You love drinking. You love just enjoying life, right? You love just being your greatest self in whatever that looks like for you in each moment. And 18-year-old Chris, you played football. I freaking acknowledge you for the courage that took, man. That's like ballsy, and especially that season and just showing up again and again and again. Half of life, half the battle is showing up. So you already show up. You're already programming yourself for success, for huge success. And I can't even begin to tell you how much that habit pays off in the coming years and decades, okay? Because I've been there, I've seen it. I know what the F happens because of this habit, because of this way of being. And bro, like I bow to you. You deserve huge credit for just being that guy, okay? When things don't go your way, when you have breakups, when you have heartbreaks, when you drop the ball at a football game, how do you show up in those moments? How do you handle that? Really, I think the biggest thing for you is to be aware of what is going on with you in those moments. And the fastest way I've found personally to do it is to journal, is to just write the things down. Like write down, I'm pissed. Write down, I hurt. Write down, I'm frustrated. Write down, she's dumb. Write down, I dropped the freaking ball. I feel like a loser. Write it down. Just put it on paper so it gets the F out of your head. Because trust me, I know that you would sit there for hours, days, even weeks and months thinking about how you messed up, thinking about how it didn't work out, thinking about how disappointed you are. And I get it. I so get it. Like, I wish that everything always went the way we wanted it to in life. I wish that was the case. And would it be a fun game if that was the case? Would it be a fun journey? Would it be exhilarating and adventurous? Probably not as much. Might still be there, but the contrast, it's really contrast, and you'll learn more about that in a couple years. But I just want to be here with you specifically to talk about purpose, because 18-year-old Chris, man, you have so much going for you. You're about to go to school for electrical engineering. You have some amazing human beings as friends who love you, who support you, who are there for you. You are about to go on some wild adventures that totally transform your life. Yeah, some of them are just going to awaken you. Some of them are going to just ignite a fire within you of, that's what I want, that's who I am, that's what I stand for, that's me. And a lot of it, you're going to say, this sucks, This is not who I am. This is not where I want to be. Why am I wasting my time? Why am I here? I feel like such a disappointment. I feel like such a waste of space. And so I just really want to hold space and like provide a conversation right now with you, 18-year-old Chris, that all of it, all of it, all of it is perfect. All of it is beautiful. All of it are things to be grateful for and appreciate. All of it are aspects of your journey. And I really invite you to focus on what to be grateful for. What are the gifts? How can I be grateful that my parents make me do these things? How can I be grateful that I don't have X, Y, and Z? I don't have as much money as I want. I don't have the woman of my dreams. I don't have, these things that I want. I don't have things. I don't have freedom. I feel trapped. I feel like a prisoner. How can you find the goodness in those things? How can you find the gifts? How can you find the lessons? How can you find the reason to keep moving forward in spite of those things? And you're going to have to work your ass off, bro. You are going to work your ass off. And yes, high school, you were awkward a lot. It was like really awkward. And I love it. I love it because you care so much. You care so much about how you show up. You care so much about what people think. You care so much about who you're being, and to fit in and to not rock the boat and not make waves. And I just really acknowledge you for that. And I also acknowledge you for deep down inside your soul, you know what is right. You know what's important to you. You know what feels good. You know what is honorable, is ethical, is in integrity with your soul. So freaking listen. This is your wake-up call, 18-year-old Chris, to listen, to be aware, to stop trying to have it all figured out, to stop pretending like you have all the answers. You're freaking 18 years old. It's okay. It's okay if you don't have all the answers. It's okay if you don't know your life purpose. It's okay if you don't know why you're going to college. You're doing it because your parents told you to. It's okay. And just know that how you show up in these moments, in these different activities, it's not about the activity, because there's people out there who are in prison. There's people out there who are homeless. There's people out there who are suffering, but they are happier and more fulfilled than you, because you know what it's like to be miserable, and you know what it's like to be a little victim, kicking and screaming and complaining the whole fucking time. I know you know what that's like. I know you know what it's like to feel that, to wear that hat, to be that actor in this game. And I'm inviting you to recognize that there's other people who are saying, no, that's not who I'm going to be. And they're in 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times more, even more, million times worse situation than you. And you're over here complaining. You're over here taking things for granted. You're over here being miserable because you're choosing miserable. You're choosing misery. You didn't know. You didn't know that you were choosing this. And I totally have compassion and grace and holding this powerful, powerful love container for you, man. Because you didn't know. You didn't know that there was a choice. You didn't know that you could choose who you were being. You didn't know. You didn't know how to language it. You didn't know that you could take something off, disappointment, discouragement, brokenheartedness. Feel it, but you don't have to keep living it. You choose, you create your reality. So 18-year-old Chris, I just want to let you know, you are living your purpose right now. You are being your best every single day. Nobody chooses to be worse than their best. Everyone is doing the best that they can with the knowledge, the gifts, the skills, the abilities, and the experience that they have at that moment. So 18-year-old Chris, you're about to go into a whole new fucking season of life. And just know it's going to get pretty hairy. It's going to get hairy. It's going to be epic and exhilarating, and you are going to have times of your life. You're going to feel free. You're going to feel on top of the world. You're going to feel unstoppable. You're going to feel like the king. You're going to feel like I am the freaking king of the world. You're going to feel like the champion, macho man. Ain't nothing can stop you. All these women be coming to you. That's how you're going to feel. That's how you're going to show up. Good. Own that. Own that confidence. Own that pride. Own that sense of I can do anything I set my mind to. And be aware if there's any feeling of I'm doing this to cover up. I'm doing this because I don't want people to know that I'm hurt. I'm doing this because I don't want people to know I'm afraid. I'm doing this because deep down inside I am scared. Know that that's also going to be there sometimes. So you get to call that shit out as soon as you feel it, and share that with your friends and share it with people, and just allow yourself to be freaking human, bro, because you're going to have these experiences, you're going to have these emotions, and it's all perfect. So just know your purpose is to show up. Your purpose is to have fun, is to learn, is to say, how can I use these experiences and this wisdom and where I'm at to fuel and accelerate me for the rest of my life. Be curious about what lights you up. Be curious about what you're passionate about. Why are you passionate about games? Why are you passionate about learning? Why are you passionate about being curious and asking questions? Why are you passionate about science? Why are you passionate about technology? Why are you passionate about people and figuring them the F out? Why are you passionate about anime? Why are you passionate about graphic design? Dig in. Meditate on these things. You can numb out. You can do all these drinking and drugs and like have fun in that world. That's totally a phase that you're going through and going to go through. I get that. And while you're there, while you're on the journey, while you're on the route, stop and smell the flowers. Stop and ask, like, how did this tree get here along the journey? Man, I've been running on this road for like days, it seems like. Where did my shoes go? You're gonna wind up without your shoes one day. You're gonna wind up in someone's backyard knocking on their window, trying to get in, and then the next thing you know, you're in a not so great situation. It's totally perfect. Oh, the metaphors. I love it. It's perfect. So just have compassion, have grace for yourself, do your best, and just really be grateful for the people who are there supporting you as well. Just take the time, the extra time to thank them. Take the time to say, like, you couldn't do this without them. Your parents, Ben and Steven, your sister, your friends, Cody, Ryan, Greg, David, Clint, Manos, all these amazing human beings. Say thank you. And just really like take the time to just freaking look in their eyes and love them and say thank you. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being here on this journey. Thank you for helping me be me and loving me exactly as I am, because they do. 18-year-old Chris Burns, you are living your purpose. I love you. Keep showing up, man. Let's fast forward to 21-year-old Chris Burns. Ooh, my goodness. 22? Let's do 22. I said 21, but 22 is definitely more impactful to have a conversation with after some significant events in my life. 22-year-old Chris. Woo, Bessie. You are going through some hell. You're going through some hard times, my man. Selling Verizon door to door, hitting rock bottom, winding up in a really dark, scary place, trying to live two lives at once, being frustrated, being super frustrated, not knowing where to go, where to turn, crying your eyes out because you're just so overwhelmed. 22-year-old Chris, like trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, dude. It's been a tough journey. You're taking some hits, bro. Taking some hits. And just know it's all on the outside, Like, yeah, some of the outer layers of facade and pride and know-it-all and ego, yeah, those have been hit. Those have been hurt. They've been pretty wounded, and you definitely got some scars. And it's okay. And where you're at is perfect. And what you know is perfect. And what you don't know is perfect. The answers that you don't yet have. And the money that you're not yet making. And the woman of your dreams who you haven't yet found. And the house of, the ballin' mansion that you're not yet living in. And the broken promises to yourself and others. It's okay. It's perfect. And just know that you're still worthy of love. You're still more than enough. You're still born of freaking stardust, man. And you're starting to get this. You're starting to get the language. You're starting to get personal development and mindset. And like, you're going hardcore, man. You're going balls to the wall. You're giving it everything you got, 110%. And I acknowledge you for that. I acknowledge you for that tenacity. And I just like, my heart is so there for you. It's so like raw for you and how much you care and how much it means to you. And I just want you to know, like, keep going. However much it sucks, how much you come up against and you struggle with and you feel defeated by and you feel so overwhelmed and so lost and so misguided and so disappointed. It's perfect. And it's really just the biggest gift the universe has to give to you, to learn compassion, to learn grace for yourself, to learn acceptance and love for yourself, regardless of what happens outside of you. And you're going to be hurt. You're going to hurt other people. And it's going to suck. It's going to really suck. And these are the formative moments. These are the defining moments that you choose your trajectory. You choose what this means. You choose your path. You choose who you get to be in spite of this. Regardless of the situation, regardless of the difficulty, regardless of the pain and the suffering, you choose how you show up. Just know that you're loved. Know that you don't need anyone else's love but your own, first off. And second off, even though you're such a screw up and you hurt so many people, they still love you. You still matter. You're still so important to people and your friends and your family that they will be there for you, that they will show up for you. They will pick you up in your lowest moments and encourage you to keep going. Get back on the track, keep going, keep moving forward. And I want to encourage you with your purpose at this stage in life. Like, dude, ride the wave. Ride the wave. You're just so at the perfect place. You get to have so much adventure and trust the uncertainty, trust your resourcefulness, eat top ramen, eat hot dogs, eat hamburgers, do whatever you're going to do, and in moderation, do those things. And start really like 18-year-old Chris, like really you get to be focused on health, man. I love you. You're already working out hardcore, and just make sure that those choices that you're making, you want to be long-term healthy too. Pre-workout, it's great. Getting high, it's great. Long-term healthy, moderation, man. Really discover the peace and the beauty without anything external. Just being with yourself. Go to the park, go to nature, and just learn to source yourself from that will be such a huge asset for you. Okay, so really develop that skill and that competency. And 21-year-old Chris, man, 22-year-old, whatever. I love you. You are more than enough. You've got this. You're so capable. You're so worthy. And even when you experience challenges and resistances, keep going. Even when the money doesn't come how you planned it to come, even when you let yourself down and let other people down, just trust it. Like, ask, what is the gift? What am I developing? What's the lesson? What am I creating through this experience? What am I choosing to focus on? How am I choosing to live my purpose and show up as my best possible self, my greatest possible self, in spite of these things? Okay, because there's going to be some crazy circumstances, and it's all about how you respond to them that really makes the difference. Okay, so I love you. Keep showing up as your best, and you're at the perfect place, man. There's no one's approval to get. There's no one's love that you can buy, or you can act your way into receiving. Whatever you want, give it, man. Give it first. If you want love, if you want appreciation, if you want acknowledgement, give it first. Start the conversations. Open up the space. Be courageous. Be brave. And just be you, man. You got this. Chris Burns, you got this. You are more than enough. And I'm proud of you. I'm so freaking proud of you. Proud of you, bro. All there is this moment. So keep showing up. And if you want support in healing your inner child, your grown up, whatever, if you're having struggles, challenges, you want to get your message out to more people. I really love working with people who want to be world changers, who are on the path, who are figuring out their way. Particularly, I love helping people who already have momentum and just want to kick it up another gear. But if you want something that's more intensive and more long-term, definitely is going to take a higher level of commitment and investment on your part for it to be worth both of our while. But I'm happy to help you as well. So just know that you deserve the help. You deserve the support, whether it's from me or someone else. You deserve it, and it's up to you to go out and get it and get that help. Okay, so I'm here for you. And at all these different ages, 13, 18, 22, the thing that would have made the biggest difference is having people around me who I respected, who I wanted to be more like, whose qualities and characteristics I wanted to embody, who I could ask questions, who I could get guidance and leadership from. So I know that's something I super provide with my amazing relationship, how I live my life, how I show up in my life, my mindset of abundance, my commitment to empowerment and making the world a better place. So just know that you are loved and you're on your path, and just keep trusting it. Okay. And I'm here for you, and just take the next step, whatever that is. Raise your hand, ask for help, make a commitment, keep showing up. You got it.